Why do you think your story needs to be told? Why do you think it's important behind the product you make?
Because this is a dying lifestyle. This isn't really, not a lot of people do this anymore. There's not a lot of family-owned businesses. It's mostly large companies or corporates, shareholders. It's not really usually a small family business anymore. And especially using local ingredients, and fresh local ingredients actually, just quite frankly, nobody else really does it. That's why it's important. We want to preserve this lifestyle if we can. We want to pass it down to the next generation because it's a really great way to live, and it'd be sad to lose it.
When I was younger, I grew up on my grandfather's ranch in Colorado. I was born in Colorado, and what we're doing here in California is very much what I characterize as what us Irish peasants do. I'm happiest with my hands in the dirt, and so to see what Sue is making of the things that are right around us, some of which we planted, some of which are wild, like the flavors, it makes me feel good. I like it, and I like seeing people's reactions when they taste the confections, because it's a lifestyle. We enjoy being here. We look around and we just get up in the morning and say, "Oh, this is pretty fantastic," and so Conways Confections extends that feeling, I think, to some people, and we hope lots of people.
I think the sense of place, above all, is most important to me. You know, sitting here, it smells a certain way, it feels a certain way. Ventura County has a Master Gardener program, and so what I did was I wanted to learn everything that I could about how to grow things here, and also about, in particular, about the native plants that are endemic to the area. I went down and I did that for a year and learned everything I possibly could, and then just tried to replicate it on my own.
People grow and pack citrus on a commercial basis for different reasons. Some of them, they emphasize the packing qualities. They have less oil in the rinds and they pack better. Our emphasis from the beginning has been taste. Others emphasize color. They used to even dye oranges in some parts of the world. So why is it like that? Well, several reasons. One has to do with this almost Mediterranean climate that we have here in Ojai. We're in the hills overlooking the valley, and the temperature in the winter tends to settle the colder weather into the valley, and that means we're a little bit warmer. And so when they test the fruit, it's sweeter. It has a slightly higher sugar content that you can't get in a number of locales, but we can get it. The thing that lends itself a lot to our Conways Confections is that in addition to all of that, we hand pick. And when I say hand pick, I mean these hands and those hands and Conway's hands. We also do this for our own use. I mean, we eat the fruit, we give it to friends. It's a big part of our lives.
You take it over.
Well,
Or you can take it.
Rachel was making candy for Christmas, for the holidays, and year after year, year after year, more and more and more and more, they're getting a bigger and bigger production. People were saying, you know, this stuff isn't crazy. We should sell this stuff. And one year we got an opportunity to go into a farmer's market and thought, this is our opportunity. Let's do it. We could sell it. And we did. And it sold really good. In fact, she offered us a site immediately, permanently, and that was Mar Vista Farmers Market. So that's kind of where it started. From there, we went to the farmers market. We're in there every week, and then Whole Foods caught us, and so we started going into the Whole Foods, and that rolled out into other retail places. That was years ago, 6 years.
I'll hit the ground running.
You stretch yourself a lot. You stretch yourself a lot, just not only in just having a small business, but when you're working 2 businesses. And I don't just mean in terms of time, but you stretch your ability. You know, you just find out what you can do, and then you just got to do it because you got to come through.
We make this butter crunch and we have to lay it out. So we get done with it, we get a pan of it done, and we have to lay it out. Well, to lay it out on so it doesn't stick, we have to put some kind of lubricant down. So then we make a choice. It's like, okay, we say this this butter crunch is made with butter, nuts, cane sugar, brown rice syrup. We say it's only those 4 things. That's all we can use. Now it would be really easy. I think about this all the time. It really, in the old days,
in the food business.
in the food business, I would have just taken a spray can of and sprayed it down, and it's like done. We can't do it. It's another item. It's another element. It's another ingredient, and we just can't. People trust us to say. They say there's 4. You say there's 4 items. There's 4 items. We run into people who have allergies of all these different nuts, and we have to be able to look at them and say, you can trust this. There's nothing cross-contaminated here. Period. And trust is a big deal. We take it real serious.
People are actually consuming you. They're actually eating something that you made and putting it into their body, and there's an incredible amount of trust.
I think you've asked a great question. It's a challenge that I look forward to. I mean, we have a cottage industry. Can we still impart to people the lifestyle that we're trying to do with our food if we scale up?
Well, I think the next step for us would be a commercial kitchen, but ideally it would be a commercially equipped kitchen right here on the ranch. That would be my ideal, because for us it's really great to have access to the fruit that we pick, and then minutes later it's in the kitchen being processed into the candy that we make. And I definitely think that you just have to keep on being there at tastings on a regular basis to just connect with people. I don't think you ever give that up.
I met recently with the UCLA retirement guy, and I think he told me what my number was. What my number was. Where if I left UCLA at that number, life would be sweet and taken care of for me. And I remember I was so upset because I thought, well, man, that would mean that I would never have been able to give this business that we created, that so many people respond to so well, that with every indication is that it works well, that it's going to be a success whenever whenever we can feed it to make it that success, or whenever, I don't know, with all the stars line up. But I just remember thinking, to take that away from me, I was so upset initially. But then I started thinking, and I thought, you know what? It's just a numbers game. Because all that it means is that, okay, if I'm not going to have those numbers from UCLA, I just have to have them from P.O.P. But I need to be realistic about what the numbers are. But I don't want to, we need to be realistic about what the numbers are, but it's just a numbers game. And after that, I felt a lot better, because then it's like, well, then it's just it's a matter of letting it happen with P.O.P. instead of waiting for it to happen with UCLA. Unfortunately, we have a lot of life other than P.O.P. that we've got to think about. And I shouldn't say unfortunately, but we do. We have a lot of life to think about other than P.O.P. Everybody who knows us knows that P.O.P. is an extension of who we are so much. We're so happy to have been able to create that. But we can't just have life be fully pop right now the way that we'd like it to be. But man, wouldn't that be grand? I think one of the things that we really enjoy about P.O.P is how much it connects us to people, how much it connects us to our customers. When you start a small business, I know we weren't even thinking about just the community of fellow makers that we were going to be making, that we were going to be meeting, seeing at all these shows, sharing stories with, learning from each other.
Yeah, it's almost like a subculture. I mean, there's just this large group of people who are craft people who are banded together to put on these events, and the ones that are doing a good job that we there's respect for each other, and we look for each other, and we say hi and how's it been going. We share experiences with each other. It's really fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's really kind of like an added value that we just never even thought about when we started the business.
Well, I think when you do something and you do it really well, and in this case we make something to share with other people as a business, and I think we have a good idea that we think it's good. I mean, we've only 13 flavors after 8 years. I mean, we're not adding a whole bunch of stuff here. And I think so. We think we're right on our flavors, quite honestly. And when we put that stuff out and we put it to people and they try it individually one by one, and they find one that they think is really good, and we think it's good too, then there's honestly a connection right then and there. And then they buy it, and it's affirming on all sides, and it means something. It's a bodacious thing, I think. I like it. I think it's great.
Well, I mean, Conway sees us working really hard and he helps out. He's part of the family, he's part of the unit. And then that unit is part of the larger community. The guys that work on the ranch work very hard. They support their families with what they do here on the ranch. And in turn, we take what's grown and we make it into the confections. And then we go out and we have stores carry that. Some of them are really local stores. And in turn, those people work for those stores. So you can really just see there's this whole, as Bill was saying, economy there, which is part of the town. It's all interconnected. And I think he clearly sees that and is part of that. And he's taking it all in.
We think small businesses like Conways Confections are important, and that makes us feel good. And I know you've already spoken to our son Conway. Fortunately, he feels the same way, and I like that he does.